Hey guys, what's up, man? I'm frustrated. I've been constantly dealing with this trolling motor receptacle. Do you guys got one like this? Looks like that. I done had enough, guys. When it's really cold outside, I try to get it installed in the receptacle here, the quick connecting. Man, it gets on my nerve. When it's warm, it's okay. But when it's cold in the morning, like right now we're in the fall, 1st of December, dude, it could be hell. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this replaced because I want it to be easier, and this is just hard to line up all the time. It's just so frustrating. So I'm gonna go ahead and just switch this one out. And the one I went and grabbed, guys, is the Marinco 70amp trolling motor plug. The receptacle right there is super easy to use. I got to get something done about this because this is frustrating. Even when my buddy's in the front of the boat and I tell him to plug it up, it's frustrating for him, frustrating for me, cold weather. So let's just go ahead and get more amps. This one, Marinco, is one of the best ones I found. Did a lot of research on it. I saw that you can, it has 3 wires. I only need 2. You can still wire it with 2. This is 12, 24, 36, and 48 volts. So it's basically universal. So it has a receptacle as well as the plug. So female and male, okay? Let's go ahead, guys, without further ado, and get this installed. I'm gonna jump down here really quick and get my battery unplugged so we don't shock ourselves or anything of that nature. Get it unplugged, and I'm gonna come in here and drill it out. It looks like I'm gonna have to drill a bigger hole for my receptacle. Hopefully everything works. I got a large, extra large step bit drill for that, as well. It looks like the circumference here is about 1 inch and 3/4. So I got 1 inch and 3/4 on my drill bit. Okay, so let's jump in right away. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get this off. So it looks like it also takes a, not your general Phillips screw, but a star bit. So let's see if that works to get it. I think I have it matched up right. Those are the screws that come in, and I'm definitely going to repurpose those and save them. Okay, let's see the hole size. All right, so the piece, I thought that this will be able to just plug in here, because if you actually look at my new one from Marinco, everything will plug directly into the back right there. See, this one doesn't actually plug directly into the back. It actually plugs, it just the wire so the manufacturers, where I bought the boat from back was Landon, it was just a long wire, like about a 6-foot wire, and they just took it and carved out a hole, put it here, and then ran the wires underneath the boat. So what I'm going to try to do is see if I can gain any ground here, and I'm just going to try to cut the wires here, and then when I cut them, I should be able to just fit them into the receptacle. And look at that hole. That hole is about the inner diameter. It is not the size, so I definitely need to make that larger as well. So without cutting this wire. So I have to figure all that out. So let's go ahead and brainstorm really quick. We'll go ahead and get it done. All right, so I got that receptacle off right there. We'll see how this goes from here on out. So now I have that wire hanging out right there. I don't want to lose this wire. I'm also gonna need to push it back in. Let me see what I can work with. If I can maybe tape it somewhere. Let me get my flashlight. I can see what I'm working with in here. And this makes it a little difficult for me because of the lip of the boat right here. Okay. I just don't want to drill the hole and then lose the wires here. I think I should be able to fish them out. I'm just going to put some tape here and tie them off to this just for safe measures, because I don't want to be fishing in there for that. All right, guys, I checked in there, got my wires all taped off, just with some paracord here so I can try to push them back in and not lose them. Let's try to push them to the back while I drill out this hole right here. My biggest concern is losing these wires. I got to drill out the hole before I put the receptacle in, because I can't I can't drill down the wires, screw the wires down to here and then put it in. Of course, I got to do a hole because this receptacle circumference is a lot wider. This is about 1 3/4, and this right here is about 1 inch. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. So now I'm gonna go with my step drill. I'm gonna go to 1. I'm gonna go right there to 1. I don't think you guys can see that. It's not focusing, but it's 1 3/4, about right there. All right, guys, let me let you know what happened here, guys. I had a whole dilemma with this thing. So most of the people that you see, they have a panel where they can take it off, take off a panel, and they can put it on here, and then you screw on the locking nut. Well, I can't do that. So I was having a hard time with that. So what I ended up thinking of after all that time is drilling 2 small Phillips screw size holes in right there to be able to hold it from pulling out. Because without that locking nut on the back, the receptacle, female receptacle, every time I plug it in, it'll just pull through. It'll pull itself out. So I went ahead and did that. So if anybody's struggling with the same thing or they want to upgrade a trolling motor plug, but they don't know how to do it, this right here seems like it'll work well. So now I can plug it in, see, and then I can just pull it out. Look at that. See? It'll just pull out without pulling this piece all the way out. So hopefully that makes sense. And now I'll just go ahead and get to tightening down my wires and getting everything buttoned up with this. And then I'll go ahead and do this one as well. All right, guys, so it comes with tape on right here, like this. If I just take these off, so hopefully you guys can see that. It has a, just for your reference, it has a 1 for negative, and it has a 2 for positive, then it has a third wire. I don't have a third wire, but 1 and 2 would be what I want. So black wire here, positive wire here, and I really love this style that I have right now because I can just crimp it down. So it comes with these where you insert your wire into. Insert your wire in here, in this point right here, and then you put it inside here, and then you just crimp it down on it with the Allen key that they give you. So let's go ahead and get that done. Hopefully you guys can see that well. Okay. So it's a little bolt in there. You can see that screw is, this space is opening up for me to be able to put, so that I can put this in there. All right, so what you do is take this piece here and you put it in that to your wire, and then you connect it in. Make sure I have it the right way. Positive here at the bottom, and you just go ahead and tighten it back down on it to crush the metal pretty much into it. All right, there we go. Get it real tight in there. All right, looks like we're halfway there now, so I can push this back in, see how that'll go in. All right. Now the screws that I put on the side, I put on each side, it's preventing it from going all the way in now. So I have to cut that out now. All right, guys, so I was able to get that receptacle in, the female part of it. I was able to get that in. I'm gonna silicone around it before I go ahead and get that done. But now I gotta go ahead and get the major part done right now. So they give you a couple of more as well, and 3 screws, a couple of more wire crimps, the way they use it. But I got to figure out how my trolling motor wire is here. I've never, I got a new trolling motor when I got the Minn Kota Terrova right there, but I just simply just kept the same wiring for that. Just cut it, spliced it together, and it kept the same female receptacle as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get this off, and so we can install the new Marinco male connector. So this is the part right here where we heat shrinked last time to keep this connector on, but I won't be using this connector anymore. So I'm gonna just make a cut right here, positive and negative. All right, there we go. So no turning back now. All right, so now we got those wires stripped, and then they'll go to one positive and one negative. Go ahead and take us a couple of these connectors out. Close that back up so I don't lose any of them. There's one trying to run away now. All right, and then we'll go ahead and get that connected there over it, and then connect this one as well. Pushing on up on the wire. There we go. So now, the way Marinco makes these is that you have to take off the back with the screw, 2 horizontal screws, or I would say this slightly at a 45-degree angle, and then you also have to take off the front to run your wires through. So let me go ahead and do that really quick, okay? All right, so then these two pieces just come off. This basically, these are just your protectors. So they got like a little groove there. See that? It's a little groove that slides on right there. Slide that on and you put your wires through here. So I have to take this off actually. Got a little bit ahead of myself. So you put that through there, but before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and get the front off too. Oh, that's really interesting how that slid out like that. Yeah, these are different type of screws here. These are like a, oh, almost looks like a Dremel bit. Look at that. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's interesting. All right. All right. Perfect. So same thing while I'm at it. It's the same setup. We just go ahead and back off those screws. They're gonna crimp down. So those screws right there, gonna crimp down on this, which your wire would be inside of here. Okay. All right. So now I have those backed off. It's the same thing like it was on the last one, where you have the 1 for negative, 2 for positive, 3 we don't need right now, but if you needed that, that's what you would use that one for. And so since it has like this wire protector, you see that for your wires, you go through, and you got to be careful. The way it says is facing up, so you want to make sure that so you got positive, I got negative on top, and then positive on bottom. All right, I like that they have this to protect the wires. Wire a little short. And then we're gonna cover them like that. Push it all the way on. I like how it snugs down on the cables as well, where it doesn't like just hang there loosely. So that's really good. All right. So there we go. And then now we go through, I'm gonna go to and put negative there. And then we'll just use the wrench, the Allen key, and we'll just tighten this down, okay? So I won't bore y'all with that. There we go. So now, since we had that plugged in, right? Now we just slide our sleeve back up, and it has an arrow here where up is, see, up, and right there is up as well. I'm just gonna pull it down onto it. All right, so that's seated in. And then we'll go ahead and get the top screws put in. Drop one down each. And these things look like they're gonna be very easy to screw on. Start with the bottom. Down in there. Oh yeah, it's pretty easy. They go in easy and come out easy. So they're like kind of like a drill bit. And then we can just take our grooves and slide it on the back. All right, that's hand tight for sure. All right, that's perfect now. Look at that, all done. Nice and secure. And then now I just have to go ahead. So now I got that receptacle attached to my trolling motor. Now I just have to drill 2 pilot holes on either side here, put my screws in, and we should be home stretch. And I'll just make sure everything is running right. What I'm gonna use right here to get the screws in there is a 3, if you guys can see that, 3/32. I don't know if you guys can see that, it's not focusing in, but it's a 3/32 drill bit. Okay. All right, so we have 2 pilot holes already done now. Let's go ahead and get this thing siliconed around the edges. Because I want to just make sure it's watertight. All right, so now we got it siliconed. Let's go ahead and get it back inside. Oh. There we go. All right, guys, it was a tedious process. Looks like we've come to the end of it. It looks like everything is successful. I'm loving it so far. Remember, this is the Marinco 70amp trolling motor plug. Works well. My trolling motor is working fine. Let's go ahead and get it plugged up, guys. It's time to get on the water and fish. But hopefully this helped you out, because everybody doesn't have a panel for your to be able to screw in the locking nut on the back of it. So I went ahead and made that modification. Just thought outside the box, screwed it in to where the actual female receptacle doesn't pull out. Once I plug it in, it doesn't pull out with it. Those nails seem to be holding. I don't know the exact size I used. I just found the smallest ones I could potentially find. You know what I mean? You got some extra screws hanging around, do that, or just go ahead to the hardware store and find you the smallest size. They're probably size, I don't know, probably size 4. We'll see. But everything worked out very well. Let's go ahead and get it plugged in, because now I'm tired. Time to get on the water. Hopefully that was helpful to you guys. I want to get it plugged in. Let's see how simple that is. Easy as pie, baby. Now, all right, guys, that's plugged in. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Fishing is Therapy. I want to see what you guys have done, what you think about this mod right here. I think it was well worth it, especially during the winter months. No more fumbling around with the difficult trolling motor plug. So thank you for staying tuned to another episode of Fishing is Therapy. I want to hear from everyone. Like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys on another episode of Fishing is Therapy. Peace.